Hi traders, we're currently looking at the pound US dollar. This is a daily chart, and I want to show you an example of a bearish gartley pattern that's set up on a 5-minute chart. So the first thing we want to do is identify higher time frame key areas of support or resistance. So first things first, you want to take your flip tool and draw it from the high down to the low. Have a look at this area right here. You see 38%. Okay, we've had a price pop through the level. Remember, we are dealing with zones here, so we need to give them a bit of space. From the high, take a horizontal tool, just drop it down. See the 38 level. If you just move that up, you see this last, this what I call an order block, this last bullish candle before price broke to the downside. Price has really just come up and tagged that level. Okay, so that area right there, you see how price has moved and shifted around this area. We just move back here, we have resistance, spike through, come back, move back deeper, but rejected hard. And then we've sort of moved around that area of resistance. Look at the wicks here. Okay, then we've held the support, look at the body, support, bang, closes through. That's how I use the candles, close through the level, come back. Now it's come back and test that level. So we're at a key area of resistance on a daily chart. Okay, so if we move to the 4-hour chart, here's the 4-hour that we're looking at. So price is rallied, and you can see this level. Okay, nice horizontal support resistance. See here, resistance, support. This one's a little bit messy. Didn't really respect it here. Resistance, support, but resistance. It's mostly that daily level. In terms of fibs, you can see we're sort of trading between the 50 and the 38, so not ideal in terms of the confidence from that larger swing. Nevertheless, we know where we are in terms of that big area on the daily. Okay, if we just drop off it down and have a look at any possible confluence from this drop down, okay, the smaller swing, you can see we're currently sitting around the 70.7 Fibonacci retracement. So also just add a little bit of weight to that level, and see price starting to slow down a little bit after this pop up. We've also got, you can see lower highs, lower lows on this 4-hour chart. Okay, so nice little downtrend at the moment, bit of a retracement up into resistance. Let's get rid of the fib. So if we now move over to the hourly chart, let's just have a closer look at what's going on there. Compress this. You see this level in here. Okay, you see how price has sort of worked its way around this level as support and resistance. And more recently here, you see here we have support becoming resistance, spikes through, comes back, tests the resistance. We've had a nice drop off already. It's come back and sort of just consolidated. Okay, so higher time frame key area that we're looking at the moment. If we now move over to the 5-minute chart, this is where this pattern set up, and this is a trade I actually took on the short side. A little bit on the messy side with the feed here. Sorry, the actual feed on this is a bit choppy. Your live feed should be a lot clearer than this in terms of the candles. Okay, but what we see here is you see our price tagging there a resistance, that high time frame level. Price has dropped off. Okay, taking on a low here, and then it started to retrace and then dropped again. So if we just zoom this up, put some fibs on this, from this swing high down to this low, we've rallied up to the 62% retracement. Okay, so when that happens, you want to start thinking about the possibility of a gartley pattern. And we draw our fibs from the low up to the high. See the 79 lining up with our 127 projection or extension. And if we label this, this is X, this is A, this is B. Minimum retracement one for point C is 38%. You can see which has been reached. And the completion point for the pattern is right here. Okay. Now this is a very small pattern. If you measured the distance from the high to the low, it's only 14 pips. Okay. It's only 14 pips in size, but understand where the pattern's found. It's at a higher time frame, key area of resistance. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to look at a sell up here, 58.24, with a stop loss above the highs here. We go to our order platform, new pending order, sell limit, at 58. I'm going to put it right at the number. Okay, with these small patterns like this, I'm not going to worry with placing it a pip or 2 pips below. It is a 5-minute pattern. You could, if you want, you can pop it 1 pip below. Below. I don't normally. You see the difference between the 23 and 24. It's really, it takes you right down to the next fib level. So that's how small the swing is. I'll just leave it at the actual number. In terms of stop loss, remember we need to, if we're selling, the stop loss goes above the high for the pattern. But with such a small pattern, you want to just make sure that, you know, if price does come deeper up to sort of test the highs here, you don't get taken out with the spread. Okay, so the high is like 58.28, so we want to put it a couple pips above that. So let's just have a look at 10. Where does 10 take us to? No, 10's, let's see here, 27. This is, you know, when you're trading these very small patterns, there's always going to be a problem with the spread, so make sure that you do take that into account, because if prices pop up to the high, you don't want to get taken out, you know, whether it's just sort of before the high and the spread gets you. Very, very frustrating. So let's go 50, let's go in 30, 31. Okay, so we've got a 7 pips of risk, and that's going to include the spread. We're pushing it a little bit on the tight side, but we'll put that in there. Okay, so there's a stop loss above the high. This is because of the spread. Okay, spread is like 3 pips, so really don't want to give it much space to breathe. Literally like 4 pips plus the spread. In terms of targets, remember we are at a higher time frame key level, so here again I want to watch price and see what happens. Okay, if we get taken in, just step this forward. So there's the entry we've just been taken in on the limit. This price is popping a little bit higher here. Okay, don't want to go above the highs with this smaller pattern. Just step this forward and see what happens. Okay, let's have a look at the hourly chart. I want to get rid of these fibs on here. Looks a little bit on the messy side. Okay, so hourly chart still stuck in the range. The first area we want to watch, you see this level right here, we want to see a close below that area. If we can get that, then hopefully we can drift lower. In terms of the targets, we've got, you see this area in here, we've got an area of support becoming resistance, back to support. Prices moved quite aggressively up there, like 42 pips or something. And you see this block here, that's a good place to look for profit. Okay, 57.87 area is not a bad level at all. That'll give you about 37 for 7 pips risk or something like that. So you're getting real good risk reward on the trade. I'm going to modify this quickly. So targets 57.87 plus the spread 90. Okay, and let's just move to the 5-minute chart and just see what happens here. Compress this a little bit. So price breaks down quite nicely here. You'll see on the hourly chart actually committed below that level. That's good for the trade. Okay, not going to do anything with the stop just yet. We've got such a small stop in place. The last thing you want to do is be too aggressive with this and get taken out. Okay, so there's a spike down, bang, straight into that level. That's what we wanted. And there's the trade right there. So we got taken out for 34 pips for a risk of 7. So it's almost 5 to 1. It's like 4.8, somewhere around there, I think. Spiked into that level. Just follow price along here and see what happened. See how this price comes right back up and test this little block here, that white block there. Okay. That's obviously a good sign if you're still holding, and you can see price did eventually break down and it came down into that sort of next block area here. Only not quite as deep, but still nice little trade. And here again you can get some really good risk reward trading these very small patterns like 5-minute chart at key levels like that. Okay, with small risk, as in this case, right, when I used 7 pips and managed to get a nice little trade into an area of support.